Hello and welcome to this how-to video that I am making specifically for Select Ford employees on how to use Facebook effectively. Now, with this video, I'm going to pretend as if you know nothing about Facebook. And if you do know something about it, I apologize if you feel like some of this information you already know, but please understand this is back to square one when it comes to Facebook. But I'm going to give you some tips and tricks along the way, just some things that I have learned. And then I will also be recording another video that talks about how to use Facebook in terms of a business perspective, because there are some individuals from our store that have access to our Facebook page. So I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But right now, this page is if you simply want to use it. When it comes to Facebook, you are creating your own personal brand. And if you have really been paying attention in the media, I would say in the past probably a year to 2 years, a lot of marketing organizations or even professional development services have really talked about that idea of creating your own personal brand. And this is the idea of how do you want people to know you? What do you want people to know about you? And you have full control over that, especially through the use of social media, which honestly is really exciting, but it's kind of daunting at the same time. So I think a really good place to start with this is Facebook, just because if I remember correctly, right now, there are over 1 billion users on Facebook, over 1 billion users. And I just heard a stat recently saying that if Facebook were to be a nation, it would be the 3rd largest nation in the world, which is to me just mind-boggling of just the fast rates that people are joining Facebook. If you want to learn more about Facebook, you can definitely Google it. Even if you're interested, the movie The Social Network actually chronicles the beginnings of Facebook. And of course, it was made for entertainment purposes, so you have to take some of the facts with a grain of salt. But nonetheless, still super, super interesting movie. So I'm going to start this by saying, let's say you are on Facebook and you were on the Facebook page and it said sign up, so you went through the process of it, or you already have your own profile. And when you're creating your profile, like I said, you choose every single piece that's on there for what you want on here. If you look on mine, you'll see that I have my past work history on here from right now, showing that I work at Select Ford of Williston, that I am the co-founder of K. Michael Lee Studio. I teach at Anytime Fitness. Previously, I was with Ames Engineering. Previously, I was with Wilson State College. And even before that, I was with the University of Jamestown. Now, I don't have all of my work history on here. I have just what I think is relevant. I think for that job-specific kind of stuff, that's more for LinkedIn. And I'll create a separate video talking about what LinkedIn is and all of that. But let's say you don't have anything on your page about where you work, and you're probably wondering, why should I do this? And like I was saying earlier, it's because you're creating your own personal brand. You want people to know and be able to connect you with a certain organization, even if it's your own business. If you were to start your own business today, you want to be connected with that. And so the way you do it is if you're under your settings, and the way I got there is, let's say I was on my timeline. You'll see all this information on this left-hand side. Anytime you see a pencil like this, that means you can edit that section. So if you click on edit, you'll see these different areas on where you can edit your profile. So we're simply going to start at the top with your work and education. I clicked on add a workplace. And so you can click and type whatever you want. And what's nice about our company is that with Select Ford, we do have a page. So it's going to connect it. So now when someone clicks on this hyperlink, I'll just do it in a new tab, it brings them right to that Select Ford. So in a way, your profile gets to serve as a marketing tool, which is really exciting. When you start typing in here, like what happened with me, I started typing customer service, and I feel, yeah, customer service manager is shows up, and so you can click that, and so that just populates you with really popular titles, so people can click on it and know that that's something that you do. This is where you work, so you start typing Williston and it'll populate it. And then if you truly want, you can do a description. I've never really felt the need to, because Facebook, that's not the purpose of Facebook. Facebook isn't meant to be a professional site in that sense. It's simply to, I feel it's more of a personal branding site, like I said before. It's how do we get to know you as a human? And with this time period, you can click on it saying you currently work here, but let's say you don't. Let's say you want to put your first business you started, and that can be your year. So we'll just say 2002, November. And if you know the day, you can do that. And you work there until September of 04, whatever you want to do. What's cool about this, and you'll see this is all throughout Facebook, is whenever you're posting things or you're editing your profile, you choose who you want to see. And a drop down will show up that is public, and so that's anyone that's on your profile, or even someone who is not a friend of yours, they can see it. Friends only, you can have something that only you yourself can see. And the custom is if you have, say, there's some, maybe maybe you have an ex-boyfriend, ex-wife, that you don't want to see. And so you can actually type here and say, I don't want this person to see it. So that's something that can work as well. So you would click Save Changes for that. I've never used the professional skills on Facebook, but that doesn't mean you don't have to, or you don't need to. But let's say you're really good with sales, so you can start typing up sales. And with this, I would say it's more of the sales promotion. I don't think it's sales in the book genre, but you type in what you want and you see if you can somehow find what it is you're looking for. Choose the privacy settings and click Save. For your education, they do have two separate sections when it comes to college and for high school. And so you see here, I have it says Wilson, Florida. I need to edit those. That's kind of weird. That's not right. I just noticed that. See, this is good. I get to edit my stuff. Edit, and it's not letting me do that. So I'm gonna just delete this. Yep, I'm going to remove this. So you get to see me do this in action. This is fun. Okay, Williston High School. And so it shows Williston, North Dakota. I honestly don't. I'm going to change it so it doesn't have my year anymore. I don't think people need to know. No, I don't need to share this. Okay, and they'll ask you that a lot, is if they want to have this posted, and no need to. But when it comes to your college, if you want to put you into Wilson State or Harvard, whatever it is, you're more than welcome to do that. So I'm actually going to edit mine so I can remove my date. Change the dates. I just don't want the dates. It's not letting me do it. But either way, you can see that I went to the University of Jamestown and then Grand Canyon. And what's nice is that these serve as links to, if you want to learn more about the University of Jamestown, it brings you to that page, and it brings you to Grand Canyon University. And so, once again, you get to serve as that nice marketing piece for whatever organization. Places you've lived, you can choose it where you can put your hometown, and then a lot of times if you're not living in your hometown, your current city. And a benefit of that is people can find you then, or you could say that's a detriment. But either way, you'll find that certain people have been here, and it's, let's figure out who they are. You can add places you've lived. It's just to give yourself a little more different traits for people to relate to. Contact and personal information. I have my cell phone here, and you'll see this little lock, and that's because I have edited it and I made it where it is available only to me. So if someone were to go on my profile and look under my About Me information, they can't see my cell phone number. And I've done that so no one can see it. But as you noticed, you'll see this text where it says text activated. And that was something when I'd inputted my number, I approved Facebook to send me text messages, and it'll do that time and time again. But it's only for security purposes. Never once have I received a text saying, like this page, or so-and-so posted this. I've removed that kind of thing. My address, I've chosen to not put my address on here, more of a security thing. You can post different websites. So these websites that I have, this first one is my page from my TED Talk I delivered. The next is my Zumba profile. My next is my LinkedIn page, my Mary Kay website. Ooh, I should remove this. I'm going to remove this Williston State College one since I'm not there anymore. And then these other two are more fitness related profiles for me. For my emails that I have, when Facebook first started, it was only allowed for college students, and it was meant to really connect people that way. And so you had to have a college email address to even register with Facebook. And I remember that when I first joined, is that I needed that that email address. And then it expanded to, instead of just college networks that you could connect with, you could actually connect through work networks. And so as if you had a certain email address, you could do that. And so on here, you see right here, my email address is from when I was with Grand Canyon University as a student. Anytime you have a profile with Facebook, you actually get a Facebook email, my Mary Kay email, and then my Hotmail. And the Hotmail address is what my profile is under. It's the one I use to sign up. If you want to add other phones or accounts, you may do that. You can see my information here for my birthday, August 6th of 88. As you notice, though, on this right-hand side, you'll see these two heads. So my friends can see this. I do not have it where the public can see my birthday. I have it where my friends can know my birthday. And then my year, I have it where only me can see that. And that's because I don't want, it's not necessarily I want people to know my age, but they can know my birthday. Next, also when Facebook was started, it was more as like a romantic tool in that function, and you can add what you're interested in. And so if you're interested in men or women or both, you can do that. You can choose the security setting once again of who you're interested and save that. I choose not to have any of these information here. I just feel like it's unnecessary. If you know many languages, you can input those here. Once again, I don't think it's necessary. I think that's more of a LinkedIn kind of deal. If you want to put your religious beliefs, you can start typing. So let's say you're Baptist, so you can start typing Baptist. And so they have all these different Baptists out there. Your political views. Let's say you are heavily Republican, which makes sense. We're in North Dakota. You can choose that as well. But and I don't, just because I don't think it's necessary. I think if you're going to get to know me, you'll learn that information. Otherwise, I just don't think it's appropriate for that. Family and relationships. So for mine, I do have it where I'm single on here, but you'll see I changed it where it's only me that sees that. Mostly because, is it really necessary to know that about me? No. I use Facebook as more of a self-promotion tool than anything. And so if you feel my relationship status affects my work, I don't want to work with you. So I don't have that on there. You can choose to have who your family members are. So that's kind of neat in that respect. Let me do my mom. She has Facebook. So you can type in the name, and as you saw, it'll populate it, and you can choose a whole list of sibling of parents, step-parents, sibling-in-law, son, daughter, whatever. And so this is my mom. I'm just going to change it to my friends and save changes. As you'll see here, it's pending. So now Facebook is going to contact Bev Christensen and ask her and saying, hey, Serena Christensen said that you are her mother. Is this true? And so she has to approve it. So you can't just be claiming that, Brad Pitt is your husband or whatever. And so these are relatives of mine. Details about me. I'll be honest, I haven't really edited this in a long time simply because it's not really a big part of Facebook anymore. But this about you, you can type in anything you want. But what I've really noticed recently in webinars and everything is they say try to find things that are witty and different. Don't just say, hi, I'm Serena, I am X years old, I live in this town, I've worked here, that's all boring. Try to put things that are engaging and that people will really like. And so on mine, I have my favorite joke, and that's simply because I just want you to see me for me and learn about me as a person instead of me as the customer relations manager. If you have a name pronunciation, you can put that there. This named, this is kind of nice. If you have a maiden name, a married name, if you go by different names, that's kind of nice to have that. I don't have that on mine. Guess I don't really see it's necessary, but this is really good for people that do have that alternate name, especially women. And so let's say you're married and someone from high school is trying to find you and they're trying to connect with you to plan your high school reunion. And they start searching for you by your maiden name. They can actually search for you by that if you put that in there. But let's say you've only registered under your maiden name, then they will not be able to find you if you only put it under your married name. So it's a way of being connected. They have a favorite quote section down here, and so these are mine that I have. The life events page. As you'll see, mine has simply been professional related. There are people that will put life events of travel to, and they have all these different categories, which bought a home, moved, first met so-and-so, new vehicle, organ donor, quit a habit, remove braces, all these different things. In my opinion, I think it's a bit much. I think it's scary. There are some things that people just don't need to know. I think it's inappropriate. However, I know of at least one company that does this. It's called My Social Book. And you can actually create a scrapbook based on your Facebook profile. So you can choose which albums to have on there, your photo albums, which posts, all that. And so if you have these life events in there, it'll chronicle that, which is super cool. So maybe that you want to put in there that you travel to Disney World and you married so-and-so, or, whatever it is. I haven't done that. It's just sort of my preference and how that has all worked. So if you've noticed, while this is happening, I've had a ding go on, but then also these notifications that will show up based on what your friends are doing. And so this event is something that I've said that I'm going to. The Shamrock and the Bakken, and I recommend you go to this. It's a chamber event. And so you're going to see notifications pop up over here, but then you'll also see it up here with this globe. And I think it's meant to be like what's happening in your world kind of deal. And so right now I have 2 notifications. And it's showing that someone has posted in a specific group, and then someone had commented on a photo that I've commented on as well. Speaking of these icons, while we're up here, this middle icon is the 2 text boxes. That's for Facebook messaging, which is a lot like MSN Chat, or AOL AIM, all those different messaging services. And then these people icons is if someone requests to be your friend. And I guess I have some which I'll address later. So you're curious, okay, what's happening with Facebook? What's going on? If you click on the F at the top, it's going to bring you to your news feed, which is pretty fun. As you'll see on my left-hand side, that I have 1 unread message. That's what that 1 means. I have 10 events that have either been invited, someone had invited me to, or I said I'm going to. The saved pages, I'll show you that in a sec. That's pretty neat. Otherwise, this pages section, if you post on behalf of any pages, that's going to show here. So you see I'm a moderator for my dance studio, Select Forward, an event called Lemonade Day Williston, the Williston Voice, and then our Rotary Club here in Williston. So that's all for me as a page manager. If you're part of any groups, you're going to see information here. So like the Women's Barter Williston has over 20 new notifications. If you want to see what's happening within certain networks, you can click on this. So if I want to see what's happening with my friends from Select Forward, then I can see what's going on here, which is pretty neat. Continuing forward, you can see what's happening with different apps, interests, events that are coming up or that are occurring, and then if you are a developer, which I honestly can't speak much about. When it comes to your newsfeed, this is going to show either the most recent posts or your top stories. And currently I have it as the top stories. But if you click up here, you can say, you know what? I want to see what's happening right now. And you'll see it right here, viewing most recent stories. And you can definitely tell by the timestamp that is happening with things happening. So for mine, I definitely have a mix of things from college and dance and graphic design, a little bit of everything on here. So just got a little notification, as you can hear. So as I was talking about, Facebook is really used to brand yourself and to establish who you are. So you can do this by sharing links, sharing photos or video, or even creating a photo album. And so best thing I'm going to say, and this is what I've explained to other people when I've taught about Facebook, is would your grandmother approve? That's your litmus test. There are some people that choose to use Facebook as their diary, and they're very open and transparent. If you do that, that's fine. And these are people that they may only have 50 friends on Facebook. That's fine. That is, I think, more power to you, but you have to remember that the internet is permanent. So there is somebody who could take a picture of the screen, which is called a screenshot, and save it. There's someone who could share it. They can do whatever they want with it. So it's kind of, it's tough territory. So I've always thought, is it something my grandma would approve of? And if it is, go for it. If not, whatever. So it always talks about what's on your mind. And when I clicked in here, you can add photos. You can tag people in your posts. So let's say I was teaching a seminar, and well, I'll just use my sister. Teaching seminar, and I can click here, who are you with? And I'll just start typing her name. So now it has her in here. I can say I am feeling blessed or happy. Never use feeling blessed. It's such a cliche. You can add a location where you're at, and so I can say I'm at Select Ford. So all these are now different hyperlinks, so people can go to those different pages, which is pretty neat. You can also choose with this who can see it. My default setting is under friends. If you're not my friend, you really don't need to know what I'm doing with this. So I want to remove all of this stuff because I don't want to post right now. If you want to add photos, you can do that, and it's usually going to pop up your most recent folder that you were in, and so I have a Ford folder. So if you choose a JPEG or a PNG file, it'll work, or you can create a photo album. That'll work as well. That's if you want to create your own content. But let's say that there's something happening on the Select Ford page, or just any page that you follow. Let's say you think this photo is just super cool and you want to share it. You can click on share, and it's going to ask you, where are you sharing it to? Maybe you have a best friend, I'll just use my sister, that I really want her to see this photo, and so you can choose to post it on her timeline. Or if there's a certain group you're a member of that, I'm a part of New Williston Connections, and I want them to see this. Or if it's a page I manage, I want to post it on my dance studio page, and I want to post as myself. Or I want to say, hey, I'm from Select Ford, which is kind of neat. Or if I want to send it in a private message to someone, I can do that as well. Or if I simply want to post it on my own timeline, that you can do that. That is always an option. A big thing that has happened with the social media world, and Twitter is the culprit of this, is the use of hashtags. And this is how you are able to find content related to a certain word. And so with this post, as you see here, it talks about Top Down Tuesday, hashtag Mustang. So if you were to look up anything is posting about Mustang, that's going to generate right here. So Hot Rod, Ford Mustang has been posting, Chaz and AJ, I'm not sure what that is, some public figure, Patrick Rawl, Miller Motorsports Park, all these different things because of the hashtag. But you can also search by doing a hashtag. So let's do hashtag Ford. So now I can find anything that's being posted about Ford, which is pretty neat. When you're using your hashtags, I've always heard limit it to 3 in your profile and make them still pretty general for that. Otherwise, when you're posting content, I think I'll just talk about 2 last things. On your page, you're going to have your profile picture, and then you're going to have a cover photo. always try to pick images that are of high quality. Anything that has, very few pixels ends up looking pixelated or of low quality. And you want things that to really speak about who you are, because if you want to be taken seriously, and because remember, your customer can see this, a potential customer can see this, pick photos that make sense for you. I don't have a headshot on mine. I just have a photo that I thought was just nice. That's all it was. My photo for my cover photo is when I had went to the Grand Canyon. That's all it was. It was just something scenic and I thought was pretty. So when you're, let's say, when you're posting your photos, it's always going to ask you to reposition it so you can grab it and figure out, well, how do I want this? Do I want it just all sky? Whatever for that. Otherwise, that's pretty much for what I'm going to say. In terms of Facebook, if you look on mine, you can see some things I posted. Last night I took a class at the ARC. It was a spin class. And so before I left, I snapped a quick picture. And the biggest reason I did it was to promote the ARC. I wanted to help them out, and I thought it was just a super cool class. And you'll see I have 2 hashtags in it. And it was pretty fun with that. Another photo that came from my Instagram account, because I have them linked, was when I was working on my Mary Kay orders. And so it's, sort of a shameless plug, but works for me. Here's an article that I shared from Fast Company. It was talking about some advertising work that Dr. Seuss had made. He was an advertising artist before he became known as Dr. Seuss. So some people have shared videos to my timeline. I shared this video that was done as a parody of House of Cards. I do this more just so people know who I am, I guess. So let's say someone posts something on my timeline though that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I don't want that on there. Any post has this little drop down arrow, and you can say, I don't like this post. I can hide it. So I can see it, but no one else can, or you can simply remove it and delete it, which is pretty cool. You can change the date that it shows it was posted. You can remove notifications about it, or even save it. So let's say I save it. So now it shows it's saved to my saved videos. So if you remember back on the home page, this will be my last little bit for this video. If you click on saved, this is where I've saved things. You'll see this happen a lot on Facebook, where people are sharing articles of like recipes or whatever, because they didn't know that you can save articles. You feel like they have to post it on their wall as their way to save it, and you don't have to. If you just do that drop down arrow and that save, it'll get there. So if you look up here, I have 98 things that I've saved. 28 of them are links. 68 are video. 1 of them is music. 1 of them is TV show. And it does it in chronological order. I'm going to just remove that from my saves. But otherwise, there's this peanut butter cookie lasagna I thought looked divine. This Operation Tap video of a cool tap technique I wanted to use. Super Bowl commercials, because I didn't watch the Super Bowl, so I wanted to see what commercials. This is a link that was talking about Broadway, because I teach a musical theater class. It can have all different kinds of things that you want to save. This article from Forbes, it was a ballet article I thought was super, super great. And it says, where did you save it from? So then I don't have to look back in time and figure out how I saved it. I can just find it under my saved. So the saved feature is super, super cool. And so just to remind you of how to do that, let's say I really want to save this article about the pit bull, just click on save and it'll do it. And so just wrapping up under a half-hour session on Facebook, that's sort of my how-to to do this. Trying to think what else I really wanted to show you. Actually, I do have some tips I want to talk about. So if you look at the screen, when it comes to your posts, I talked a little bit about this before. Like I said, I don't have my phone number visible to anyone because of burglars' addresses. I feel like it's not needed. Financial information, there's really no need to post information about your check or a credit card. No, don't post your account number, don't post your bank, because, and you'll see this happen where someone will post, hey, I'm new to Williston, what banks do you recommend? You don't need to say, I bank at whatever. You know, you could say, I've heard really good things about American State Bank. So then you can keep it general with that. No need to be sharing your password on things. Being smart about where your passwords are. A lot of times, and you'll see this, I've seen this happen, and there's a photo just on my news feed I saw, when you are going to be away from home. As it says right here, do not post comments about going out of town for the night or the week. It's going to give an idea of when your house is empty. Don't post photos while on vacation, as again, potential burglars will be able to tell when they have time to pay your home an unwanted visit. Consider avoiding checking into places, and this is also a record of when you're not home. Anything you don't want to share. So if you don't want everyone to know something, don't post it. Others can share your status or photos or save them and send to whomever they choose. Don't complain about work or other people are likely to, because it's going to get back to your employer or that person, and they can hurt your job. If you have any doubts whatsoever if this is something that's appropriate, just simply don't post it. Talking about those posts, and people joke about it, and they're like, oh, people don't really look. They do. They really, really do. When I worked for the University of Jamestown, I worked in the admissions office, and I was an assistant recruiter. I had a fancy title, but that's what I was. And I remember getting applications from students, and those for scholarships, whatever, and we would go on Facebook and find out, well, who is this person? And so sure enough, we would go into Facebook, and a lot of times, stupidly, they would have their profile to public, so I could see every single thing on their profile. They had nothing that was private, and it was really interesting to see, just from like what they had chosen to be as their profile photo to kind of posts, you know, if there's grammatical error, if they were posting really vague things, all that kind of stuff. And I've even done it now as I've shifted more into the professional world of, let's say, someone reached out to me about a potential project. I'll Facebook them. I'll look for them on LinkedIn. I've done it when it's getting a job application. It's, what are they posting online? Because that really shows a person's character if they're being smart about it. Some last tips that I found online. Some pictures don't belong on Facebook. You or others consuming drugs or alcohol or nudity. When I was teaching, I really had to pay attention to this, because if someone saw me with a photo of alcohol in my hand, they would get upset. And it's simply the society that we're in. And it can be really damaging to your image. You can control who you tag and who tags you. You can tag all your friends so they know when a photo has been uploaded of them, and you can change your settings. And if you have questions on this, let me know or play around. No need to give out personal information. A tip, anything you say can get back to them 100%. Don't put your dirty laundry. They have examples of bashing your ex, sharing details about a spat. And you'll see this a lot, or people say prayers are really needed. I personally think a lot of that's just inappropriate and unneeded. In my case, I have over 1,000 friends on my profile. And are they all my friends? No, not at all. These are people I simply connect with. And those networks have really paid off when I need help with marketing or any kind of connection. So it's just like, what do you want to put on there? Consider avoiding features that give away your locations, of accepting invites or tagging locations. I never do that. Customize your settings. Use your settings to limit the things that Facebook will prompt you about. I really, really recommend this. The liking organizations or businesses to stay informed. I do that constantly. Some organizations I follow, Fast Company, Inc. magazine, Success magazine, CNN, Time. There's some graphic design ones that I follow. There's a lot of dance ones that I follow. And when you start following them, you're going to see recommendations pop up. And it's all just depending on what you like. And so it's finding a pattern with that. You can use other sites to update Facebook as well, and that's called linking your profiles. You can do that with Twitter, and you can do that with Instagram. So you don't have to constantly upload things. If you need help with that, let me know. Chat only when you want to. You can decide to enable your chat if you want, or have it unenabled, disabled. You can export your contacts on your phone. You can change what goes in your feed from games you play and articles you read. And you can use the groups to stay in touch with friends. So those are all things I've touched on in some way or another. Facebook is an incredibly powerful tool in terms of resources and connecting. And you're probably thinking, oh, this is a lot of work. It doesn't have to be. It's simply through a click of saying you like a certain page, and it can really provide information that is crazy. I think it's really interesting. If you, just to wrap things up, you'll see that my friend Kim Holte, she's taken a photo in Kaanapali, Hawaii, and this was an error on her part. So now we know that her house is available, that I can go in and break in if I want to. I've always recommended the timeliness of things to really create buzz for things you're posting. Wait till after the event has happened and only do a teaser. Don't post photos all the time while you're on your trip, because then people are going to get bored with it. Because what you want to do is generate interest. So you don't want to oversaturate the newsfeed. You want to keep things interesting and be mysterious. That's my biggest tip, I think, when it comes to posting. Just a couple times a week is sufficient if you want to do that. Or you can even do it once a week, once a month, whatever. Whatever works for you. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to make another video that will talk about Facebook pages, which is a whole other animal. So if you have any questions when it comes to your Facebook profile and how to set it up, let me know. I would be honored to help you with it. Thank you.